how we use food coloring. I think Margie's showing you some examples, hopefully, but so this is a couple of things we're gonna roll into one little art project. So I have a little piece of paper. It's the same size as an index card, but it is just regular construction paper because I think it's a little more absorbent for the paints that we're gonna use. So we're gonna take this piece of paper. One thing that we do that makes things look nice on bulletin boards is to have borders on them, so we can do that by mounting on a piece of paper, but this is just another little trick, except for my masking tape is not going to cooperate here. So you're going to take some masking tape. The important thing for kids in masking tape, if you're having them do this onto their own paper, or even for yourself, is that you have to, it's a little too sticky and so it might tear the paper. So when you take a little piece, you're going to use it on your shirt or your pants, and you're going to get some of the stickiness off of it so that it doesn't, I'm just doing this on my pants, I guess you can't see that, but I'm trying to take some of the stickiness off of the tape so that it, and then I can tape it onto my paper so that I can, I'll try to lift it up so I can show you. I have two pieces of paper down so I don't get them. I'm just covering a little tiny border on the top, and I'm going to do that to all of the sides. And then, you have to be patient with me for a second. Maybe I'll be fancy and figure out how to speed up the video for this part so you don't have to listen to me. I'll just go fast. So then when your paper is taped down to your table, and then you're going to draw something with a Sharpie. I have a couple, you know, all the size Sharpies I have in my house. I have a very, very large Sharpie. I have the medium large Sharpie, the regular Sharpie, and then these are the ultra fine Sharpies. These are the ones we generally have in our classrooms for kids to use. They're almost $2 a pen. They're not inexpensive, but the truth is they last all year as long as the kids use them well. And you're going to take your paper and draw something simple. I'm going to draw just some basic fish, nothing too exciting. I'm actually not a very good artist. I just like art. It's not the same. And now I'll try to pick it up so I can show you. Normally you would of course leave it taped down to the paper, but I drew on my paper. I drew with the Sharpie because of the Sharpie. The great thing about Sharpie is when you use them for blacklining is that you can paint right over the top of them, obviously, and they don't go anywhere. So that's why we use Sharpie in our classrooms, so that kids can paint and do some fun things around. So the paint that we're using today is actually food coloring. I put it in these little jelly jars because they're heavy and glass. In a classroom, I literally had to use my little squeeze bottles because I'm at home, but in a classroom, and these are expensive, you would go broke trying to make art projects out of this kind. But if you go to Smart and Final, they sell the large bottles of food coloring that are pretty inexpensive for a big bottle that'll last you a really long time. So this is almost 50-50 food coloring and water. And we're going to use these today. If you're in your classroom, the important thing is that you have the kids, we designate one brush that's for yellow, one brush is for blue, and one brush is for the red. I don't bother mixing colors and things, we just use the primary colors, but this is the yellow brush, and so if it's in a center or something, the other trick that you can do is put maybe a yellow piece of paper underneath it because they don't quite believe that the yellow looks very orange, obviously. So I'm going to make some little maybe yellow fish here. I'll try to show you when it's dry, but we're just going to paint using these colors. I'll try showing you what happens if you put a little like yellow down and try to add some red. You can just lay colors right beside each other or right on top of each other, and you can make orange and some other colors. Obviously you know how to do that. I'll make one little red fish down here. Red fish, blue fish. then, just to kind of show you what happens, I'm gonna try to add some yellow to the bottom and make it, maybe I'll just make some, and add some blue on top of it so it kind of turns green and you can kind of see what that looks like. It does make pretty green. I used the tiniest brush for my blue, so now they're not going to be very. Trying to make things work at home. These are not great school supplies. These are like, I don't know where we have these paintbrushes from. I have a second grader who does love art, so he does. Well, this is going to be green fish now. Excellent. Maybe one. Oh, it's red fish, blue fish. One fish, two fish. Here we go. Anyway, you kind of get the idea. I don't know if I can spend this whole time to paint this. I'm going to go a little closer. Again, maybe I'll get fancy and I'll ask my daughter to help me speed this up so you don't have to watch me paint this whole thing. Keep an orange fish orange. The one thing that you want to know about food coloring is that this is what we use when things are much brighter. This is generally much brighter than watercolors might be, but the pink and the red and the blue together do not make a lovely purple. They make kind of a brown purple. So when kids are using food coloring to draw something or to paint something, they can experiment with it, but it doesn't generally turn out the color that they're hoping for. Just a heads up. All right, now kind of get the point here, and it does dry quickly, so I'm gonna go ahead and just peel it off so you can see what it looks like. Peel it off like this, and it looks like this. And now if you peel off the masking tape carefully, you can see that it left a little white border around the outside. So I'm trying to move that closer so you can see it. And you can kind of, if I had a bigger brush, the blue